Picture this. We're told from the time we're kids that the path to success is simple. Go to school, get good grades, land a stable job, and you'll be set for life. It's like a formula everyone nods along to without questioning. But here's the paradox. Some of the wealthiest, most successful people in the world didn't follow that formula at all. In fact, many of them stepped off the safe path completely, and built fortunes their teachers never even dreamed of. Meanwhile, the people who did follow the rules, the straight-A students, the ones who played it safe, often find themselves stuck. Stuck in jobs that pay just enough to cover the bills. Stuck chasing promotions that never quite bring freedom. Stuck in a cycle that feels harder to escape the longer you stay in it. So, what's going on here? How can the people who skip the rules sometimes end up with the wealth, while the ones who followed the rules to the letter are still struggling? That's exactly what we're going to explore today. Because when you understand the differences between self-taught millionaires and school-taught employees, you start to see money and life through a completely different lens. And by the end of this video, you'll walk away with the mindset shifts that separate the two. Not just theory, but actual ways you can apply these lessons to your own path, whether you're working a job, running a side hustle, or dreaming of financial independence. So let's dig in. Think about school for a second. What does it really teach us? It teaches us to memorize, to repeat, to follow instructions. You get rewarded for coloring inside the lines. There's a right answer and a wrong answer, and the faster you find the right one, the better your grade. But the world of wealth doesn't work that way. In the real world, there's no teacher handing you a test with a neat answer key in the back. Problems are messy, opportunities are hidden. And sometimes the wrong answer in school is the exact move that makes you rich in life. Let me give you an example. In school, failing is the worst thing that can happen. You fail a test, you drop your grade, and everyone sees it as a mark against you. But in the world of self-taught millionaires, failure isn't the end, it's the tuition. Every failure is a lesson you couldn't get from a textbook. The faster you fail, the faster you learn, and the faster you move toward success. So here's the irony. School punishes failure, wealth rewards it. And that one difference shapes everything. Now before you think I'm saying school is useless, let's pause. School teaches valuable basics, reading, writing, math, communication. But when it comes to building wealth, the mindset school installs in us, play it safe, don't mess up, don't take risks, can actually hold us back. I'll never forget this story. A friend of mine, let's call him James, was the perfect school-taught employee. Straight-A student, got into a good college, graduated with honors. He landed a corporate job right out of school, exactly like everyone told him he would. On paper, he was the picture of success. But here's the thing, 10 years in, he was still living paycheck to paycheck. Promotions barely kept up with inflation. He felt trapped. He used to joke, "I did everything right, so why does it feel so wrong?" Now compare that to another guy I knew, Marcus. Marcus never finished college. He stumbled through jobs, picked up skills on his own, watched endless tutorials online, learned marketing by testing ideas late into the night. At first, he was broke, struggling. But here's what he had. He wasn't afraid to fail. He wasn't waiting for permission to try. Fast forward a decade and Marcus was running his own business, completely financially free. James had the grades, Marcus had the guts. Guess who built wealth? That's the difference we're talking about. Here's another big one. Employees are trained to trade time for money. That's the basic equation you learn in school. Put in the hours, get the paycheck. Hourly wages, salaries, it all fits that model. But self-taught millionaires, they figure out early that wealth isn't about selling your time. It's about creating systems, assets, and skills that pay you even when you're not working. It's the difference between studying to ace a test versus studying to solve a problem that actually matters. And here's the crazy part. Most people never even realize they're stuck in that equation. They think the only way to get ahead is to work harder, climb higher, or add more degrees to their resume. But a self-taught millionaire looks at the same situation and asks a different question. How can I make money without needing to trade more of my time for it? That mindset shift changes everything. Now, let's be honest, this path isn't easy. Being self-taught means no syllabus, no clear milestones, no gold star stickers when you get it right. It's messy, it's uncertain, it's often scary, but that's exactly why it works. Because the people willing to lean into that uncertainty, the ones willing to fail forward, learn fast, and keep adapting, are the ones who uncover opportunities that school never prepares you for. And this brings me to something I think about a lot. Why do we admire people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, or Oprah? None of them followed the traditional school-taught script. They didn't succeed because they were the best at following instructions. They succeeded because they were the best at writing their own. Most people are waiting for permission. Permission to start, permission to try, permission to take a risk. Self-taught millionaires stop waiting. They give themselves permission. And here's the real kicker. You don't need to be a genius to think this way. You don't need perfect timing, a $1 million idea, or a stack of venture capital money. What you need is the willingness to step outside the school mindset. The one that says don't fail, don't risk, don't question. Because wealth isn't built on playing it safe. It's built on learning fast and acting bold. Let's dig deeper into this. School-taught employees grow up in a system where certainty is everything. Think about it. You're handed a syllabus, you know when the test is, you know what's going to be on it, there's a right answer, there's a safe path. If you just follow the map, you'll pass. But here's the shocker. Life doesn't hand out syllabi. There's no teacher whispering, hey, here's exactly what to study. Opportunities don't announce themselves. In fact, most of the life-changing opportunities don't look like opportunities at all when they first show up. That's where self-taught millionaires separate themselves. They trade certainty for adaptability. Instead of needing all the answers before they start, they're willing to jump in and figure things out as they go. Let me give you a real-life example. A guy I know, we'll call him David, worked in IT. Solid job, stable paycheck. He always said, I'll start a business when I'm ready. But what did ready mean? He wanted the perfect plan, the perfect market, the perfect timing. And guess what? 10 years later, he was still in the same cubicle, still saying, one day when I'm ready. Meanwhile, another guy, Sam, started an online store selling custom t-shirts. He had no idea what he was doing. His website looked terrible at first, his ads were clumsy, his designs were basic. But instead of waiting for perfect, he launched messy. Every mistake became a lesson. Within 2 years, Sam's business was pulling in more money than David's IT job. Here's the painful question. How many of us are living like David? Waiting, planning, preparing. While the Sams of the world are fumbling forward and winning because they were willing to adapt. And this ties right into another key difference. Employees are trained to think in straight lines. Do step A, then step B, then step C, and eventually you'll get to step Z. Retirement at 65. It's a linear mindset. But millionaires think in exponential curves. They're not looking for do more hours, get more pay. They're looking for leverage, the kind of effort that compounds over time. It's like the difference between walking on a treadmill and climbing an escalator. The treadmill feels safe. You're moving, sweating, working hard, but you're not actually going anywhere. The escalator, though, might feel scarier at first, but once you step on, your effort multiplies because the system carries you further than your legs alone ever could. Now let me open a loop here. There's a story about a woman named Clara. On paper, she was the definition of school-taught success. Top of her class, master's degree, high-paying job. But one decision she made flipped her life upside down, and in a good way. I'll tell you what it was in a minute, but keep her in mind because her story is proof that this shift isn't just for dropouts or rebels, it's for anyone willing to change how they think. Back to the contrasts. Another huge one? Employees crave permission. From day one in school, you raise your hand to speak, you ask permission to use the bathroom, you wait for grades, for approval, for the nod that says, yes, you're on the right track. But millionaires don't wait for that nod. They don't ask, is this okay? They move, they test, they figure it out in real time. Think about it, if Jeff Bezos had waited for a professor to hand him a perfect business plan, Amazon wouldn't exist. If Oprah had waited for someone to approve her dream, she wouldn't have built a media empire. And here's a reflective question for you. How many dreams have you delayed because you were waiting for someone else to give you permission? Now remember Clara, the woman I mentioned? She had the degree, the job, the prestige. But she also had a nagging sense that her career was a golden cage. She was working insane hours, barely seeing her family, and though her paycheck looked impressive, her life didn't feel free. One day, she decided to start a small, real estate side hustle. Nothing crazy, just renting out a basement suite. At first, people told her it was risky, that she should focus on her career. But she kept going. That one decision snowballed. Within 5 years, she had more income from her rentals than from her job. Eventually, she quit. And today, she's fully free. Not because she quit school, but because she quit thinking like school. That's the real key. It's not about whether you went to college or not. It's about whether you stayed stuck in the mindset it gave you. And here's the twist. You don't have to abandon everything school taught you. You can keep the discipline, the work ethic, the structure. But if you want to build wealth, you have to unlearn the parts that keep you trapped. The fear of failure, the addiction to certainty, the need for permission. Now let me bring this home with a simple image. Picture two ladders. The school-taught employee climbs a ladder leaning against a safe, sturdy wall. But here's the problem. That ladder only goes so high. The self-taught millionaire? Their ladder feels rickety at first, uncertain, even scary. But it leans against a wall with no ceiling. Once you start climbing, the view and the freedom are limitless. So here's the question you need to wrestle with. Which ladder are you climbing? You know that janitor I mentioned? When he passed away, people were shocked to learn he'd built a fortune worth millions. Not from an inheritance or a lottery ticket, but from small, consistent choices repeated over decades. And remember my friend who started a landscaping business? He struggled at first, living in a tiny room reinvesting every dime. But a decade later he owns a fleet of trucks and has more freedom than those who once thought he was behind. These stories highlight the central paradox. Being taught in school doesn't guarantee wealth, and being self-taught doesn't guarantee success either. The real dividing line is ownership. School teaches you to follow instructions. Self-taught millionaires learn to give themselves instructions. That's the quiet superpower. So, why do some with degrees struggle while others with less education thrive? It's not luck or intelligence. Self-taught millionaires treat life like a classroom where they pick the subject. Instead of waiting for permission, they experiment. And instead of obsessing over grades, they track real progress in dollars, relationships, and skills. And here's the deeper takeaway. Wealth isn't just money, it's freedom. The freedom to design your day, to walk away from a toxic job, to spend time with family. But freedom doesn't come from a diploma. It comes from small, repeated acts of courage, learning a new skill instead of scrolling, saving that $100, or launching a side hustle. It's not glamorous like a seed in the ground, but with time, a forest can grow. So if you're thinking you're too late, you're not. You're right on time. The best classroom isn't behind you, it's in front of you and you can walk in right now. Start small. Pick one skill that moves you closer to freedom. Commit to learning it with discipline, intentionality, and consistency. The three levers behind every self-taught millionaire's story. And one day someone might tell your story, not about how you followed the rules, but how you rewrote them. If this conversation resonated with you, stick around. I've got another video waiting for you that dives deeper into the quiet habits of wealthy people, the ones they never brag about, but that make all the difference. So hit subscribe if you haven't already, and join me for that one. But most importantly, start writing your own curriculum today. Because whether you're self-taught or school-taught, the real question is this: are you teaching yourself the life you want to live?